Welcome, 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 everyone. If you guys know who I am, if you don't know who I am spiritual coach, life coach, just someone that just wants to help you out in this thing called life. If you're a return watcher, thank you so much for being here. I had a really crazy dream last night, and I think I'm going to tell you guys about it because maybe you can get the gist as far as what you should and what you should not be doing. Okay. Number one, don't eat in your dreams. I lost my mind in my dreams. I was eating it up with celebrities. Okay, so let me just get into it. If you guys like videos like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you're more than welcome to do so on my Instagram, Not Your Average Coco. So let's get into the dream, right? Let me set the scene. I was going to a different city to just go, I don't know, live my life, work, figure out what's going on in that city. And what happened was very interesting. So I finished work in a different city and I was like, okay, well, and I think I was like talking to like a guy at the time. I was like, let me spend the night at your house, and we're just having like a good time and stuff like that. And then the next morning, okay, I am actually getting that I should not tell this story. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. But I guess let's get into the reading. I have Judgment at the bottom and then also Six of Cups at the bottom. I will say that don't eat in your dreams. Okay, they're telling me that I can say the part with oh, I'm like, there's a fly in here. I'm actually so tired of seeing this fly in here. They're telling me that I can say the part about what happened. So I went to go to see I went to go see a movie or like a screenplay. I watched a movie in like the movie theaters, and then Kevin Hart came out and he was like, oh man, he was like with the mic and stuff. Everybody's like, woo woo. I'm video recording on my phone because I'm like, oh my god, this is Kevin Hart. Like, when's the next time I'm going to see Kevin Hart? And he's going around the amphitheater, and then he comes on my side and I'm just like, woo, and he takes my phone, and I was just like, I flipped it towards us so people know that we could see each other. He goes back down, and I was just like, oh my god, that was a great experience. We leave the theater and we go into like the concession like part, and mind you, the place that I was in, it was gorgeous. Like, I don't know if this is a place in California, but the city was amazing. It was almost like black people should not have been there. That's what it felt like in the dream, because there was no people of color there. It was like all Asian. No offense to the Asian people, okay? You guys are people of color, but I'm just saying, there was a lot of Asian people there and there was a lot of white people there. So I was like, are black people not supposed to be here? Because I'm here and the other people that I met were there too. So if you guys go to certain places like Aspen and certain places like that, it's not that black people aren't allowed there. It's the fact that they don't like black people there. And I just had to be honest. Some places are more racist than others. Okay, 333 while I'm saying that. But yeah, so I go out into the concession like part, and he's sitting there like doing people's autographs, and I'm just like, oh my god. And he hugs me, and he hugs like my titties. I was like, okay, now like relax. He's like, no, I just, I'm just saying, like, I love him. He's like, this is great, this is amazing. And we sit down, and then he sits me down next to him, and I'm just asking him questions, and I'm like, like, can I get your number? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, after a while, my phone wasn't working, and he was waiting to put his number in, but then my phone wasn't working in my dream, and it wouldn't go to, it was going to other apps. It wasn't going to my app. It was going to every other app. And so eventually his director person comes over, and she's like, you've been waiting here for a while, do you want me to just give you the number? Like, and I was like, here, how about you take my number because my phone's not working? And so I have her take my number, and then he also looks over at the number, and she calls me or texts me like on my line, and she's like, she was like, this number is demonic. It's connected to negative entities. And I said, what? And then Kevin Hart's looking over while she's dialing it in my phone, her phone, to send a message to me. And then he's also dialing like the number. And then I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, I don't know if I want this. And so I ended up like waking up and I was like, that was really crazy. But the part in my dream when I went to sit next to him in the first place, he was handing me food to eat, and I wanted to eat the food because I've never seen this food in my life. It was like chocolate. It was like, imagine, like, you guys know like the jelly candies that have like the slimy stuff, like the wax candies. It was that, but it was like covered in chocolate. So instead of wax, it was chocolate. And I was like, oh my God, like I want to taste that. And I ate it. But I got up and I repent. You know, when I woke up, I repented. And I prayed over myself and, you know, went through the Bible, did all my things. And I just want to say that sometimes you might not realize what you're doing in your dream. And the only thing for me that should have indicated that it was a dream was that I was able to get so close to him. Like I was sitting down next to him at his table. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. I've been around a lot of celebrities where they invited me to like their VIPs and to hang out and stuff like that. But Kevin Hart is a really big like celebrity. And I feel like they have a special type of security over him. Okay. So that was my story, y'all. That's what I could tell you about the story. So I don't know what today's reading is going to be about. I'm just coming to share some information with you. I actually started recording again on my phone to upload because I looked at my other videos of me going on live. Horrible quality. Horrible quality. What fell out was the Knight of Cups. There could be somebody that's coming into your life that you are just not really attracted to. You could be like, you might like someone because of the type of status that they have. I don't really know what to name this. I'll figure out what to name it when I, you know, figure some other things out. But let's get into a prayer. Let me cut the deck and give you guys some information because that's why you're here, okay? Let's do some deep breaths on 3. 1, 2, 3, in and out. And inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. I just thought it was so crazy that I had that dream, you guys, like right after I told you that things were about to shift today. Today's the 24th. It's Thursday. It's time to work. It's time to put things into action. But let me go back into the prayer. Okay. Heavenly Father, ancestors, spirit guides, protective angels, higher self, lower self, and Mother God, thank you so much for being here today and letting me connect with the collective. I appreciate you from the abundance, substance, and prosperity you bring on an everyday basis. Today, I'm going to be doing a reading for the collective. If you could make sure that these messages are clear and upfront. Also, any other messages that you would like to relay that could be urgent, I would deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate you. If you're not called on this reading, you are not welcome. Amen. So I'm already 8 minutes in trying to tell you guys this story. Spirit, what do you have to say about this experience that's been happening over the past 2 days? What does the collective need to know today? 5 of Wands. If you look at this card, some people, it's like some people are in cahoots with each other. You see how they're wearing the same thing, but then they all three are wearing the same like yellow undercoat, and then this is the only person that's wearing red, and it's like this person's like pretending to fight or help. There's sticks just in there. There's someone, and sorry, this is just Thai tea that's falling on the side of my cup because I had to drain the tea. But it almost seems like this is your spirit team trying to protect you from a bunch of the craziness that's happening on the outside. There's someone that's trying to infiltrate your energy. They're trying to tap into what you're doing on a daily basis. They want to know what's going on in your life and signify like that fly that I saw. I don't know where it was, but there was a fly that I just saw recently. Somebody could be sending spies to your house. If people don't know where you live physically, they're trying to find you in the astral realm, okay? You guys could be like not coming down with a cold, but symptom like cold symptoms, I guess. like the symptoms are like having a cold, so maybe like a sore throat or like a headache. I feel like when I woke up today, I had such a bad headache. And I was like, is this a sinus infection? I thought when I got on my period that this would go away. So this could be, a lot of people would say that your spiritual gifts are heightening, but I also feel like there's someone trying to tap into your energy. A lot of people have been talking about destiny swapping lately. I want to get into that. I think that sometimes people look at your life and they make it seem, you make your life seem so grand that people want to come into your life and tear down that tower. They want to create a twin tower moment. They want to reenact that moment with the twin towers, okay? They want to come in and have your whole world shatter. I'm getting that this person is someone that like they want to hear about your day. And it's like if they're not hearing about your day, they're tapping into higher realms to figure out what's going on in your life. Maybe you stopped talking to someone recently. Maybe you stop talking to everybody recently. It's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to sit back and tell yourself, you know what? I'm okay with what I'm doing. I need space from everybody. I would appreciate if everyone gave me time to figure out what I need to do. You're on a learning journey. You're here to experience things, and something about this person around you, they don't really understand that when you get into a specific type of mindset, you're very serious about it. You have very strong boundaries, and you're someone that understands that when you keep your boundaries strong, it leaves no room for error. It doesn't leave room for people to come in and start infiltrating your life, or, trying to play the victim or the manipulator or someone. It just keeps all those people away. So I'm getting that your spirit team is fighting really hard for you right now because, and no, okay, working card at the bottom. They're fighting really hard for you right now because I'm all this close to the screen. I'm all getting closer like they're, and that's because the more that you separate yourself from people and they can, it's like, how do you put it? Like, give me an analogy. The longer that you leave your tea brewing, the stronger it's gonna get. But you have to leave it alone. You can't be spinning it and nothing like that. Just let it simmer, let it steep, and it'll be stronger. And that's exactly what your soul is doing. You've been sitting down, focusing, meditating on yourself, giving yourself time, exercising, revitalizing yourself, finding different ways to make yourself better and healthier. And your aura and your energy is becoming so potent that it's attracting like everyone in the universe. Okay. What other messages do you have for the collective? I have the Queen of Swords and the Magician. Someone wants to have a strong conversation with you about what you have been doing, and I guess how you've been getting it done. I'm gonna have to brush my teeth after this. It's like someone who has full autonomy over their life wants to have a conversation with you. They want to know, like, again, they're just so nosy. I'm just getting like, they just want to know what you've been doing in life. And it's kind of like, hello, can I have my life back? Like, are you really serious right now? Like, what's the issue with you wanting to know what I'm doing like every single second of the day? And I'm getting, because this person feeds off of your energy. This person feeds off of, you being nice, giving compliments, being the people pleaser, being able to, alchemize like certain type of energies. They're very fascinated with it. So the fact that you have not been like tapping in with them or seeing how they're doing or, sharing information with them, and they are kind of taken back by that. So it's like they're ready. It's like they're not ready to attack you, but they're ready to defend themselves. When you tell them, because they're expecting, when you guys have a conversation, they're expecting you to be like, I'm going through so much and nobody's here for me and da 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 da. So they can be like, well, I'm here for you and you didn't call me when you were da da da. But it's just like you're not taking a break from people because you're sad and depressed. You're taking a break from people because you need room to charge. Like you need time to charge and to be in your own energy and to figure out who you are and to really put like the workings and the teachings and the lessons that you've been giving yourself. You need to put that into play. And the only way that you can do that is to really study yourself and to study like, I'm getting the teachings that spirit has been trying to, get you to answer to. Sorry, that came out kind of weird, but I'm just letting you know that it does, like everything that you guys are doing right now, don't make people come in and make it seem like you're doing something wrong. Like you don't have to check in with people. And I let people know all the time, no one comes to me, and this is something personal about me. No one really comes to me and tells me like, ever since I met you, like my life has changed. Like you've really helped me on my journey, like you can live without people, even though it sucks, you can live without people. And I tell people all the time, what were you doing before I came into your life? You were living, you were fine, everything was great. So it's like, don't let people gas you up to a point where they are trying to butter you up to get information out of you. And that's what I'm really getting with this Queen of Wands. Even though that she is very strict and she'll hear what you have to say, she's ready to defend herself based off of what she's been feeling. So sometimes you got to let people know that I'm not fucking with you right now because I'm trying to take care of myself, and you should probably do the same, because what everyone's talking about is happening in the world. And these bills being passed, and there's more racism, and they're trying to bring back like, segregation and things like that. It's not that I don't want to pay attention to it. I do like to know what's going on in the world, because sometimes it's knocking on someone else's, back door until it's knocking on yours. So I do like to still be prepared when these things happen, but it's almost like this person is so fixated on the people that respond to them. Like they're so caught up with like how they show up. They're a people pleaser. So if they are not pleasing people, they don't feel good enough. They don't. And let me be more specific, because it's not the people pleaser that's just like, yeah, I can help you on this day. Yeah, I can do this. They're the type of people pleaser where, what did someone call it? I was telling you guys about when people, they do favors for people, and then when it's their turn to get favors done for them, they expect people to show up. It's that type of energy, but they are not even cognizant of knowing that they're in this type of energy. And I really want to emphasize that it's okay to be around people who adore you because of the strength that you have, but it's also like they don't have the same strength. Like if you're such a strong person and people are like, oh, you're so strong, I love being around you, your energy so protective, what can you really offer the person who's strong? And that's why people please, because if they just come around, they just think if they just do enough and they just come around a little bit more and they just, are in your vicinity, in the vicinity that you're in, that you'll bless them because they were someone that was there along the journey. And what I'm really getting is like, you guys really appreciate this person and you adore them, but, let me get through this first. You appreciate this person, you adore them, but they haven't been there for very like dramatic points in your life. They have, but they haven't at the same time. It's almost like having an aunt who calls you like ever so often just to check on you to see how she's doing. She never really offers anything, right? She gives you a little bit of advice, tells you what you should do, might send you like a funny meme or two or something like that, might I don't know, give you the experiences that she has, but it's almost like they are doing the bare minimum when it comes to the connection. And then they're expecting, you to make these grand gestures. This person knows that you have special gifts and they expect you to, be like their sidekick, or they're like, I don't know what it is. It's like they want you, it's like you're their protector. The more information that you share with them, you're protecting them from things. And instead of them saying, I don't know, it's just like, please, Spirit, give me Spirit said this person's a moocher and they're using you to get what they want. They're using your protection to get what they want. And I don't know how they're doing that. How are they doing that, Spirit? How is this moocher using the collective's protection? I have the Eight of Wands and the Fool card. This person's using your protection by, they get themselves into situations and then they might like call you or like tell you the situation, and you have a higher inclination or you have a higher understanding of the situation. And instead of this person really problem solving for themselves, they kind of wait on you to decode everything that's going on in their life. And then they use that information to get to where they need to go. So it's like they don't really have to learn the lesson if they come have a conversation with you. So this person, it seems like they're in a place of not being able to trust people, but they also have been in this very whimsical energy of like doing what they want, trying new things, and then thinking that there's not going to be a lesson at the end of the tunnel. Like just because you try something new doesn't mean that that's always going to be, you know, the outcome. So let's get some advice for you. When I record, I can't make my readings too long because it takes forever to upload. Okay, Spirit, give me 3 cards for advice for the collective, please. I'll keep that one just in case. Okay, I got 2. Is there any more that would like to flip over? All right. So the 3 cards that I got were the 7 of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Hierophant. You're gonna have to tell this person a hard truth because there's something that they're doing that is self-sabotaging themselves, and you don't want to be in your head about it with this person. So you're gonna have to tell the person, like, you know, a hurtful truth in the future. But it's almost like if you don't do it, it's like you guys, there's something that you're supposed to tell this person. Like, I know sometimes when you meet people, like a random person at the grocery store or a random person, let's see, a random person at the grocery store, and they're like, you know, I know your grandmother passed away, and I know that, you know, you have something of hers. You should probably, you know, take care of it or something like that. There's messengers in this world that sometimes when we meet them, we don't know that they're a messenger. I'm like on the nose because my nose is itching. And you're going to have to tell this person a piece of information that could be very cutthroat, or, you know, like I said, the sword of truth, like cutting through their lies, cutting through like their bullshit and things like that. And it might send this person into a spiritual like ascension. They might need to also take time from people and reflect on the things that they're doing. But it's also, this person knows that they have been lacking on the things that they need. Like they have wasted all the time that they could, and now it's time, you know, for the truth. So you will get this information and you'll be able to give it to this person when the time is right. You'll know when the time is right because it's always divine timing. I hope you guys really enjoy these messages. Again, if you like them, please share, like, and subscribe. If you like to book a personal reading, I usually have it down in the description below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.